Hello Sofa Squad. So today we're going to be talking about a couple of updates and some rather infamous cases that have been going on or have happened in the past. One of them is rather shocking. And then we're going to also be talking about yet another Zoom live, whatever you want to call it, mishap that just has people going, what? So y'all, first up on the sofa is Letecia Stauch. Now, if you don't know this case, if you're not familiar with it, first of all, I'll link some things down in the description if you want all the details to it. But she was the stepmother of Gannon Stauch. This blew up. And she is in custody, and this has been going back and forth and delaying with this hearing and that hearing and yada yada yada. Now, she was recently back in court via a live stream, and it ended up being a closed hearing, and this is why. So the hearing took place after one of her public defenders requested the hearing for a conflict hearing. Now, this essentially is based around the fact that she is wanting to get new representation. Now, again, at this point during the hearing, the judge closed everything off, and it was just Letecia, the judge, and her counsel. Now, there is really no resolution to that hearing, but she is going to be going off to an Arguello hearing next. Now, I might be butchering that name, I hope not. Regardless, that hearing is going to take place Friday, February 24th. Now, what this type of hearing centers around is usually when a client is looking to represent themselves. That is completely on brand for this case as far as I'm concerned. So what this hearing is going to do is basically dot your I's and cross your T's type situation. They want to make sure that she understands A, B, C, and D, and that they have all bases covered so that this can't come back later and haunt them, you know, for another trial and appeals and so on and so forth. Very similar to the case we're going to be talking about in just a minute. Now, allegedly, this is going to be open to the public, so I am dying to see what she looks like right now, how this goes. Again, her trial has been delayed and put off with hearings and You know, again, I'd rather things go slow and make sure I's are dotted, T's are crossed, because she is going to pull every trick in the book. We've already seen her do it when she was still out on the lam trying to play it off like she had nothing to do with what happened to Gannon. Now, y'all, this next one, go on and buckle up the sofa seatbelt, because this one knocked me off the damn sofa when I saw it. I had to look twice. I was like, you have got to be kidding me. Now, who I am talking about is Kinney. This is the Idaho nurse who helped Patrick Frazee clean up the crime scene after he did what he did to his fiancee, Kelsey Barrett. Now, January 2020, last year, she ended up getting sentenced to like 3 years in prison. Now, she got this sweet deal as far as I'm concerned because she testified against Patrick. They basically were not going to be able to get him without her testimony. Now, he is serving a huge sentence, a life sentence plus like 156 years. So he will never be coming out. If he is, then we all know that zombies are a real thing. Now, even though she got this sweet deal, we learned from her time in the stand, you know, that Patrick had approached her a few different times trying to get her to help in the act of doing what he did to his fiance. And allegedly, she kind of chickened out. Regardless, this obviously did not go over well with people, especially the fact that she was getting such a sweet deal. Now, here's my sofa sidebar on that before we continue. My thing is this. I get they have to make these deals and all that, and even the DA, the prosecutor, those people said we had to make a deal with the devil to get Patrick, and I 100% agree. My thing is this. First of all, she was so, and I don't even want to say easily swayed. You know, the things that she was like, oh, I was going along with it, but then I chickened out at this point. I'm just like, that's not normal for someone to be able to walk you down that path. And this is somebody who, number one, was a nurse. You know what I mean? Secondly, she's going to be getting out even sooner now, probably. So that just gives me pause, because I'm like, well, who's to say your next boyfriend doesn't get you wrapped up in something just as sinister? You know, if she's that easily manipulated, allegedly, then who's to say what else is going to come down the pipeline from this woman? Now, here's the thing. She ended up pleading out to tampering with evidence, and the maximum sentence in Colorado for that is like 18 months. Now, here's the other thing. She was charged like the double amount of that because she was hit with like an aggravating factor to that charge. Her lawyer is saying that should have never happened. And in fact, this is what they had to say. Prior to the sentencing, I filed an extensive briefing explaining why the range that the judge could sentence her to was 1 to 1.5 years, which is what Crystal had agreed to. Now, they're arguing that this is unconstitutional because it exceeded the maximum sentence for that charge. And the Court of Appeals agreed with them and said, you know what? Yep, you're right. We have to re-sentence this. So she's already served 13 months. So this has gone back down to the court system to redo this. She is still incarcerated at the time of this filming. Here's my sofa sidebar. Now, again, I obviously I'm not a lawyer or anybody like that. I personally think it's like, well, they're just going to end up pleading her out to what she had, and she's probably going to walk. It would be silly to tie the courts up, even though, say, we want that kind of justice. If they're going to sit here and say, no, you can't sentence her to any more than the 18 months, well, she's right at that point anyways. So I have a feeling that not too far out, we're going to see her walking out of those doors. Again, she's probably going to join the ranks of Casey Anthony, people of this nature. Now, Kelsey Barrett's uncle said in regard to this, he was like, this is like a slap in our family's face. And I get it. I 100% get it. So, again, people like this walking the streets, I just feel like they're dangerous. I'm curious to see what y'all think. Let me know down in the comments. Now, we're not going to leave the sofa today on a totally tragic note. There has been yet another, we're going to call it just, a virtual meltdown here. I'm not sure if this one was Zoom, but it was like a live meeting that took place. And what I'm talking about is a school district in California. This was the Oakley Union Elementary School District. They were going to have like a virtual live town hall kind of a meeting. And this was going to be with the school board trustees. Well, the end result of this meeting was the entire board having to resign. So let's talk about what happened. So before the actual meeting took place, before the parents and all these people, the public or whatever we're going to be watching, they're kind of behind the scenes in the green room, if you will, and they're talking to each other. And let's just say they didn't have really nice things to say about the parents. Now, here's the thing. That's all fine and dandy. Everyone's entitled to their thoughts, but they didn't know it was broadcasting live. So this did not go over well. Some of the things that they were saying, I was like, oh my God. So they start basically going in and talking about the social media criticism that they have been receiving from parents. And this is in regards to like getting schools open and what they've been doing and how they've been handling it. Now, one of the board members said, they forget that there's real people on the other side of those letters that they're writing. It's really unfortunate that they want to pick on us because they want their babysitters back. Now, another board member chimed in and he had to say this. I totally hear that because my brother had a delivery service for medical, the green stuff, and the clientele were parents with their kids in school. When you got your kids at home, no more smoking. Well, now ain't that always the damn truth? Other lovely comments made by this wonderful board of trustees were things such as, if you come for me, I'm going to F you up. Now, somebody was recording this and you already know they put it on YouTube. I'm going to put a link down to the thing below so you can watch it. Now, after the fact, of course, they were trying to reel it in. And at one point, somebody says, this is live. And everyone, you can just tell. I mean, they freak out. They're like, huh? Nuh-uh, no. Well, heads roll, basically. People want these people, to be fired, to, be let go, whatever. So they release a joint statement, and I'm going to read it here. This was a difficult decision, but we hear the community's concerns, and we believe yielding to your request that we step down will allow the district to move forward. Please do not let our failure and judgment cast a shadow on the exceptional work that our teachers, administrators, and hard-working employees are doing for the students of this district. They deserve and will need your support as you move forward. So here's the thing. They're just sad that they got caught, okay, because it was all laughs and games when they were talking smack behind the scenes. Now, again, here's my 2 cents on this one. Okay, so some of the stuff that they were saying, I'm like, look, everyone's gonna, have their own opinions about their job, and they're gonna gripe, and they're gonna do stuff like that. I get it. They probably should have been a little bit more careful talking about these specific things that they did, knowing that you're like on a platform getting ready to go live. I'm just like, that's probably not the best place to have that conversation. And some of the things that we're saying, I'm just kind of like, and probably not even openly like that. Maybe on the phone with your coworkers or your board member, whatever you want to call them. Because some of it I was just like, like, why would you say that openly? And if y'all are freely talking this way, I mean, this is an interesting overall attitude to have. Now, the comments in the YouTube section have been golden. people felt many different ways. Some people, are like, look, like everybody doesn't say this kind of stuff. And other people are just loving the fact of seeing the looks on their faces when they realize that this is live, the whole 9 yards. So I'm curious to hear what you think. This has been a huge thing. Most all of us, either we have kids, we know people with kids, we know teachers, so on and so forth, and every state is handling this differently. And so it's just a conundrum all around. And again, one thing that I just really think is going to never quit giving from this COVID thing is all of these Zoom, these live chat meltdown failures. I mean, they just keep coming. Anyways, I appreciate all of y'all watching. Thank you to all the watchers, the subscribers, the members, the mods, the Patreons, and everyone who makes this community and channel happen. It wouldn't be here without you. The sofa thanks you. Now, if you want to see more videos by me, just click all the things that are popping up here. Thanks again for watching, and I'll talk to you later.